Hello, friends. I think that many of us dream of owning a cozy home next to a river in a quiet and peaceful place when we retire and reach old age. Each day you would enjoy the sunrise and the sunset, drink hot tea on your terrace, and look out into the distance with a thoughtful expression. Many years ago, an American man by the name of Morton Jablin had the same dream for his retirement. However, due to life circumstances, he had to adjust his plans. That's when he came up with a genius idea which to this day attracts journalists and made him famous across the entire US. So what did this seemingly ordinary grandfather do? I'll tell you step by step. Morton was born and raised in Brooklyn, where his life was no different from that of most Americans. Before going abroad with the Office of Naval Intelligence during World War II, he was a typical college student. After returning to the US in 1946, he worked as a pharmacist. In a few years, he met the woman of his dreams and got married to her soon afterwards. Together with his spouse Charlotte, he raised 2 children. Closer to his 40s, after having saved some money, he started a successful lace-making business. Things were going well, and he had more than enough money to lead a comfortable life. Even though he was not a millionaire, Morton was able to build a cozy home for his family with a green lawn, raise 2 boys, and provide them with a good education. During their marriage, Morton and Charlotte often took cruises around the world. In their lives, they visited many countries and continents. Even when the man was over 80 years old and his children were grown with families of their own, he continued to manage his business and enjoy life with his beloved wife in their suburban home. But one day, everything changed. In 2007, his wife Charlotte passed away because of old age. Morton was left alone in the big house and was broken with grief. Of course, his children offered him to move in with them, but he chose not to do it because he felt like it would be a burden for them since they already had their own children and even grandchildren. One day, when Morton was sitting on his terrace, he came to the conclusion that he needs a place where someone would always look after him, where he would be surrounded by people, and where the level of care for him would be high. Friends, he wasn't thinking of a nursing home. After some time, the old man began researching cruise prices. He was drawn to the 7 Seas Navigator, a modern and luxurious liner that has 8 decks, 245 comfortable cabins, more than 300 staff members, and can accommodate up to 500 guests at a time. As you can imagine, the rest of the liner's infrastructure is just as impressive. In addition to the huge number of restaurants and cafes, the liner has everything that a modern person needs, including gyms and outdoor recreational facilities. It's noteworthy that the vessel was initially called Academic Nikolai Pilyugin. It was designed to study the atmosphere's outer layers as well as to perform other tasks. Its construction began on April 12, 1988, on the southern slipway of the Leningrad Association, Admiralty Shipyards. However, after the fall of the Soviet Union in 1989, many Russian space research programs were discontinued, so Pilyugin's construction was stopped when its readiness was at 58%. The unfinished ship was sold to the Italian shipbuilding shipyard, Meriadi. There, the liner was converted into a cruise ship under the name of the 7 Seas Navigator and launched. This liner was featured in the movie After the Sunset, starring Pierce Brosnan and Selma Hayek. This 165-meter beauty is also the ship that Morton Jablin chose. After calculating his cost of living, Morton came to a brilliant conclusion. He realized that the cost of staying in a nursing home would be significant, and that he would also be trapped inside 4 walls. It would be much better to move onto a cruise ship. The old man dealt with his finances in a rational manner and sold his small lace-making workshop. He deposited his proceeds into a bank. The interest accrued on the deposit allows him to fully pay for the expenses of the cruise. That's what he did in 2007 after packing a small bag with only the essentials. Friends, when he boarded the liner, he never wanted to leave. It is hard to believe, but the old man has been on the cruise for 13 years. He travels with members of the crew who became like a family to him. After having moved onto the 7 Seas Navigator, Morton received the nickname of Captain. This is what the cruise ship workers lovingly call him. After so many years, he knows the ship better than anyone. Morton even has a personalized table in the Compass Rose dining room. The table is designated for his daily lunches and dinners and is set for him personally. The chefs know Morton's preferences and favorite dishes, and at the same time carefully monitor his health. The liner also has medical personnel who know Morton's entire medical history. In general, he has become an integral part of the ship, which after 13 years is not surprising. Morton even has access to the ship's staff areas and likes to spend his evenings playing chess with the captain of the ship. His presence also entertains the vacationers. They ask for his autographs, and journalists interview him. Morton Jablin is now 94 years old, but he still actively moves around the deck and is planning to live until 120 thanks to the sea breeze and the sun. His suite has been adapted to accommodate his needs. Morton says that the casino is not for him, but that he generally enjoys the nightly entertainment programs and music shows. He also likes to sunbathe, but does so only for up to 30 minutes a day because of his advanced age. What about his family? His sons, who are now 68 and 64 years old, visit him regularly when the ship docks in Miami. He can also call them at any time on his cell phone. During his time on the cruise ship, Morton has traveled around half of the world and only rarely disembarks during the ship's long stops in ports. Considering the fact that the cost of one night on the cruise ship starts at $250, the company gave the old man a 50% discount because of his prolonged stay. He is a real mascot of the ship. The cost of his stay is just over $4,000 a month, which includes all of the amenities the ship has to offer. Sometimes, just the rent of an apartment in a large city costs more than that. At the age of 94, Morton Jablin easily passes for someone who is 20 years younger. With his glasses and dark eyes that exude intelligence, confidence, and warmth, he looks like a recently retired CEO of a large company. The ship's captain says Morton is a fascinating conversationalist with an amazing memory and mind. The old man, in turn, really does consider the crew to be his family and friends. He says, "I couldn't achieve this lifestyle anywhere else. If I needed a nurse or doctor, someone is in my cabin within 5 minutes. No matter what time of the day, if I needed something, someone is here in 10 to 15 minutes. If I weren't on this ship, I would have to have someone living with me." Where else could I feel this secure and safe? For some reason, I feel that he is absolutely right. This story shows that with out-of-the-box thinking and a rational approach, you can end up living your entire life on a comfortable liner, where you will always be safe and supervised by good people. Friends, what do you think of this man's idea? Would you be able to make it? Make sure to express your opinions in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.